Okay, so we are now on our full second day at Boomy Hills on safari, and um, we actually had a very interesting experience this day that we didn't have anywhere else. And we saw elephants pretty much all the time. Most of the time at Boomy Hills and several other camps, they were up close and personal. They were you'll see later on that some are really close to the vehicle. It's amazing. You're not having to zoom in really with your phone to take a good picture at all, honestly. So on this particular day, we're over in this kind of wooded area right over here. So this area was wooded. This is down by the water, which is flat, not as full of trees and everything. So this wooded area up here is kind of hilly, and a little rough going in the vehicle. So at first we run across this lovely lady, and she's up in the trees, eating leaves is her diet that morning, and that's her baby came around to out from behind the trees there. But then we run across this dude. Now, there's a when these animals are in heat, uh, and I don't know if this applies to the females or if it's called the same, but for the guys, they say they're in must. Okay, so this guy was in must, and we eventually learned that they've named him. His name was James, so it's the only one that I remember any name of. But he blocked our path on that road. Okay. And so he was highly agitated, really agitated, flapping the ears. He charged the vehicle a couple of times. Um, and he put his tusks in the ground. And our driver was like, that's a bad sign. He's highly agitated. He's challenging us, etc. And so I didn't realize until later just how scary it was. I mean, it was scary enough, right? So anyway, this dude, and I've got a few videos of him in this video that you can see. Uh, so there he is, and he just doesn't want us to pass. And his foot is kind of hanging there, and the driver is telling us that he's trying to figure out what to do. So he's shaking his head, flapping his ears, trying to be intimidating, right? Now, I didn't get a picture or video of his tusks on the ground, but he did do that at one point in time. And it's the only elephant that I saw do that.
Back and forth. Yeah. That's a moment of deciding what to do. We call it placement. Can I go forward? Thinking about charging. Can I go forward? Can I do this?
Okay, so it was, and as you can see, this is a just a little one lane road that we're on, going back there in the bush. Okay. So he finally decides to get off the road. So he gets off the road, but as we pass, he starts chasing us in the woods. Okay. Now, in the day two video, the day two video that I have posted, I showed you a picture of just how big these trees are. They're not huge, you know. They don't have gigantic trunks or anything. They're fairly slender. Okay, and so here we are driving down this road as quickly as we can, because it's a fairly rough road, and this elephant running and crashing through the trees to our right. It was crazy. Now, I did not get a video of that. I was just so amazed that any of this was happening that I didn't capture that part. So that was the first time James chased us. So here he is again. He's a big dude, right? So we're just kind of hanging out. We had gotten past him. He had settled down a little bit, and we were sitting there just looking at him looking at us, et cetera, et cetera. So when we finally decide to move on again down this road, he starts chasing behind us. And he probably chased behind us for maybe less than a minute. It wasn't terribly long. But of course, when you're being chased by an elephant, it feels interminable. Plus, he's trumpeting, and he's just that was the second time that he chased us that day. Okay. All right. Now, there he is again, imposing boy. There he is rubbing on the trees, still not happy. Yeah, he's not a happy dude. There he is, shaking his head again. But isn't he amazing? He's just amazing. And that's right about the time that we left and he started chasing us again. Okay. And here's some kudu. All right. As we were driving away from James and zebra, once we got down on the flat part right next to the lake, found another zebra down there, little family of them. And then another little family of elephants. So this is a mom and looks to be three children. Okay, so of different ages, right? With the youngest one, that little one that's next to her. But the other two are older siblings, and they're just beautiful. Look at them. And then, and here they are just eating and enjoying themselves. Now, at one point, Alex started singing to these elephants, and because Alex had always wanted to do that, and was wanting to see kind of how they might react to that. So Alex was singing a song from Dumbo, the Disney animated movie, Baby Mine, I think is the name of it. And this adolescent elephant was intrigued. That was her looking at Alex as Alex was singing, with her ears splayed out, she had not, it was clear to us that she had never heard anything like that. And she was really fascinated by the sound. And eventually I'll show you a video of her coming to inspect the Jeep because she's trying to figure out where's that sound coming from. Um, there she is. Beautiful, beautiful young elephant and her family. And some zebra hanging out. And then there were some boys nearby, some boy elephants who were, I think, play fighting. I didn't ask the driver about this, but I've got a few videos of them locking their trunks, locking their horns, their tusks together and their heads butting. It doesn't look terribly aggressive to me. It doesn't look like they're really trying to hurt each other or anything like that. Um, and I believe one of them might be older than the other. I don't know, but it just might be intimidating behavior. Yeah, one's a little bit smaller than the other. are again. Now, when we go and do our snacks and all that sort of thing, our driver tells us we might see James again, and we sure did. Look. Now here's the young little elephant that's coming to inspect the Jeep after Alex had sang to it. Very cute.
Yeah, the mad guy.
The zebra again. Now the elephants are headed down towards the lake. They're going down to get a drink out of the lake water there. Now, here's James. Okay, so sure enough, we see James again. Now it's at this juncture because I could now see that our driver could actually maneuver pretty well out in that open space. And you could see from the videos before that in that thicket in the wooded area, our choices were limited about how to get away from him, right? So he has sensed that we are there again, and so he's showing some fairly intimidating behavior. I always thought this was funny the way he lays his trunk over his tusk. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. But he's still very interested in our vehicle and everything. So there he is, a good close-up of him. And then here he comes, trying to scare us away. Trying to be intimidating, giving us the side eye. Okay. Sniffing the air of this trunk. And then here it comes. This is the third chase. This one I captured. So these vehicles can't go really fast. Maybe just a little bit faster than an elephant can run, but yeah, he scared us off. Yeah, he did. Now, that particular elephant, the next day we left this camp, and that elephant was out on the airstrip, and had to chase him off again. And it was just fascinating to watch him. Um, but that's the most aggressive that we ever saw an elephant with a vehicle. Um, and so sometimes we wonder if maybe that elephant has some previous history with the driver or something. Don't really know. Wasn't really talked about. Um, or that he was just so compromised because of his hormonal state. Whatever it was, though, that was probably one of the most exciting days, if you will, in terms of like, wow, that was actually dangerous, because and that's what you're paying a guide for, is for them to know how to get out of those kind of situations of reading their behavior and understanding what the animals are doing and figuring out ways that they can get out of situations like that. Because that elephant would have had no problem turning over our vehicle, right? That they're just bigger than these vehicles. And so they wouldn't have had any problem with that. We could have gotten hurt. So, that's what you're paying a good guide for, is for their knowledge, these animals, and their knowledge of the terrain and their knowledge of this vehicle, right? And then that's that baobab tree that was on the property. And that was kind of our our full day 2 at this particular camp. Now the following day we did leave this camp and go to our next one. And there will be some big differences between this camp and the next one. And I'll describe those on the next video. But if this inspires you at all to go to Africa, be sure to check out africadynamics.com. They help people go to Africa And in our case on safari, for all of our camps, we used African bush camps, and they are the best. I'm sure a lot of other camps are, and tour companies are really good. Um, we found the people to be very welcoming. The people were very well skilled in service, and they often had, medics at camps, uh, and all kinds of different services like that. And I will tell you, um, every camp we went to had Wi-Fi. They may have had very limited Wi-Fi, and what I mean by that is, for example, at this camp, the Wi-Fi was only in the common area. Okay. So in the places where we ate or that swimming pool area, that's where we could use Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was not in our rooms, um, but we did have access to it. So, I was able to WhatsApp people, and things like that and send them photos, while I was on safari, which was really great, to be able to have that. And so every camp, and I'll describe how each camp did it, they all did it in different ways. Okay. All right. So anyway, that was our full day 2 on safari. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.